Alrighty, so taking a break from my normal development work and decided to take a look at Cache Cleaner Simulator. Not a game that I'm walking into the first time. I've actually played this game quite a bit whenever it first came out, like literally before all of the roadmap updates, before even the first one. I played, beat the game, loved it. Really haven't came back to it since then, because I kind of got to a point that it kind of became not fun. Just because once you like fully automate everything to the point, it's not nearly as fun as like having to figure out the challenges, which is an interesting game design conversation, which is something that I want to discuss while we play this. So normal game design conversations here. Very good UI design, like it's very obvious that I'm hovering over this. Very good clicking, feels good, sounds good. Settings menu also really good. The nice like pop in there. Kind of sweet. All the options you would expect, your language, good accessibility options. Also, I like how it outlines different types of like what the options can be on the right here. Kind of better than just centering it in the middle like most games. Interesting that it doesn't do that with resolution, or that might just because it's borderless. All that's very good, even background, so they kind of anticipated you might alt-tab away from this game, everything like that. Good field of view options, at least from what I can tell. Everything's set to medium, which is kind of funny because I have a 4090. There's really no reason for me to be on medium, but I'm just going to stay on it because why not? I don't actually imagine the game gets that much better. Screw it, let's set it to high. Why not? Sure. Everything else looks really good. Rebindable controls via customize button. Very solid. All feels very good. All very clicky. Very good kind of snapping here, even in the progress bars. It has a step of 5% there, which is kind of cool. I know these, I don't want to mess with them too much, but they have a step of 0.5 as well. So kind of a balance between usability and the kind of area that you would be able to select there. So let's go ahead and hit play. Like I said, I've had it for quite some time. I think that's back whenever it came out. Maybe I revisited it a little bit sooner, but yeah, version 1.0.2 is the last time I played it. It is now version 1.4.3.80.8. Which that's another game design kind of thing, is putting your version number on the title screen is not bad, especially if you can use that to kind of narrow down bugs. I imagine if I try to load in this, I'm going to have a whole bunch of issues. I definitely think I want to revisit that at some point, but I definitely want to do a little bit of play, starting a new game, just kind of showing off the basic bit, kind of evaluating the tutorial a little bit. That is also kind of a cool little delete button that changes the outline and also makes it pretty clear that you're doing that. I'm not going to click it because I really want to keep that for later, but it is nice that they offer that option. So let's go ahead and start a new game and let's just see how it goes. 3 minutes on the title screen, not that bad, but let's just see what's going on here. I might actually just clip this part out. Maybe not, because it is actually very quick. Alright, and then we have Betty Oops calling us. Very good little UI up there. It feels very chunky, kind of vibrating like that.
Rise and shine. How's the head? You had quite the day yesterday, huh? On your feet now, that's my boy. I know this place isn't exactly paradise, but you're not here on vacation. Oops. No, you've got a job to do. Don't worry, darling.
Good to know.
I'll
Good to know.
teach you everything.
Oh, she's gonna teach me everything. Okay, crouch, jump, and sprint. Good tutorial, good feedback right there. That feels good whenever you complete even basic tasks. Pick up an item, approach it. Actually can't because I'm getting too excited. Aim the camera. Wait, to pick up an item, approach it. Oh, didn't count because it was off of a pallet. Interesting. Probably hard to tutorialize that. Not really sure what criteria they would use that qualifies for me picking it up like that, but not picking it up off a pallet. Kind of interesting. E to open it, and then T to throw it. Yeet. I like that. Real physics games kind of just give me a lot of satisfaction. Everything just feels good in them.
Hey,
All right.
Mr. refresh. It's me again.
Oh, hi.
Check your phone. I sent you a
Ooh,
message.
but you sent me a present first. Alright, cool. So we're just going to go ahead and set this stuff over here because I know what this is because I've played this game before, but it is kind of nice. I don't have the incinerator yet, so you're just going to chill over here. But let's take out our smartphone now. Locks everything, doesn't freeze time when you open it, so good to know. Darknet app, can't click anything else. Very good indication of that. Oh, I didn't know these buttons worked. Maybe they didn't back whenever I played. I'm unsure. But it is kind of cool that these buttons actually are interactable. Does this one take me home whenever I'm on something else? Oh, then back. Okay, so it actually works. That's kind of like a little bit of yeah, the chatting. Also very good. It feels very good. I wonder, can I skip the tutorial if I just tell them? Yep. And then let's see if it just does this. Cooking, but I believe in you. Also, this all sounds and feels very good. So, did not automatically complete the tutorial. Glad it would have been an interesting little like divergent point there had I done that. Had just talking to her done that, that would have been kind of cool. So she's going to send me a gift box if I do the delivery. Even accepting that felt pretty cool. Okay, so there's very well done tutorial so far. We are just going to go ahead and drop those there. Stack bills. Click on the stack bill or hold. So we're just going to go do. And then create a money pack. I'm not really sure if they care how much is in the initial bit. Optional to bind a stack. So I feel like I could probably just like be cheap and get away with just like making like a very small stack of money here. So let's just do 5 10s. Just wrap it. You can. So then you can just drop it there and then turn the conveyor on. Pretty good visual design. It's pretty clear what you want to do. I like that it highlights green as well, kind of telling you, hey man, it's on its way, this is an acceptable item. Good. Again, a really good feeling of completing stuff. I imagine I'm gonna get a new call here, you know. Okay, so this can't be anything, so we're just gonna throw that over there. Got another one. Oh, we have two. Okay, more money packs, that's fine. And then, why do I have a feeling this one is also money packs? Oh no, it's just money! Perfect. Okay, so that can just go there. We'll deal with that later. Also, throwing items feels good. Holding F and then getting visual highlights of what will be picked up whenever you're doing a bulk pickup feels good. Just hovering over stuff and knowing that you're going to collect said highlighted thing one at a time feels good. That's kind of what you want to achieve. Also, the little sound of like rustling paper feels really good as well. I like that. Alright, so dark app again. Let's open you back up. 150 objects, flat gift box. Ooh, send at least 150 bills of any denomination in any box. Good to know. Green. Oh, so you're just doing this. Okay. Alright. Okay. I like the physics. I like how it kind of just saunters its way down. Alright, so if we wanted to be like real stingy, we could sort these items, but I don't really see a need to do that. Let's just pull our shopping cart over here and then just go around and collect up all this money. That box is humming, which is also a good game design choice there. That box is humming, which means it has something that I haven't opened up yet. So I will do that in 2 seconds once I gather up all this money and shove it in the shopping cart. So I will say, whenever you're designing games, you want the most basic things to feel pleasurable. Kind of like the most common tasks you do, you want them to feel good. You want them to feel exciting, especially if it's a core gameplay thing. So for this game, core gameplay is collecting cash, kind of through any means. Picking it up feels good. That's awesome. That's like exactly what you want. Okay, so task tracker, let's track this task, I guess. So setting this for delivery, I have a feeling that's just kind of like on the back end of it to kind of just determine what it should be checking as you lay stuff on here, because I guess you could just have everything like in an array and just kind of iterate through that array to kind of just see if anything on there matches like the desired outputs. But you really don't need to do that. Kind of depends on how much flexibility you want to give your player. And that's like a level of complexity on the back end that you don't necessarily need to maintain if you think your players can tolerate picking one task at a time. And in a game like this, where tasks might take a little while, one task at a time is not the end of the world. So they might have just, you can clip things into things sometimes. They might have just elected to do it that way, which kind of makes sense. Okay, so any denomination bill, doesn't really matter, but we need 150 of them. So we're just going to chuck that down there, and then you can just grab 100 that way, and then we will wrap it, and then 100, oh wait, in any box. So let's open you up, let's take you, and we will drop you in, and then we need 50 more. So we will just do this. There's a little transparent number counter there that tells me how many bills I have grabbed, which is now 50. Drop that in there, close that, pick it up, walk over here, drop it, and then it did not turn green. So that leads me to believe, oh, there we go, okay. So it only turns green whenever it's actually moving. Kind of an interesting design choice. Obviously this game has made a hit and I have made no hits, so obviously it's working for them, but I would like to see it show from the moment you put it on the belt. If I have that selected as a task, if you're forcing me to pick one task, always check whatever I drop on there as opposed to whenever it's on. Very cool. Okay, so what's the point of the money if you don't spend it? Oh, Betty Boop, what are you doing? Okay, so we'll just drop the knife here. The knife can be used to open some things up. I imagine I will get a tutorial bit for that soon enough. Alright, place any bag on a pallet. Place any box on a pallet. Pallet, and then pallet. So they definitely have some kind of code to detect the difference between a pallet and floor. So that kind of answers my question from earlier, is why that didn't kind of pop up. Go to the Black Market app. So I went to the wrong place. Black Market, that is now unlocked. We get a money counter. Heck yeah. We have just enough money for it. Nice little money counter description here. Do I have problems with this screen? Not necessarily. So you definitely have an orders button, you have your cart button, you have what rank you are, or maybe that's the rank, nope, that is your rank, not the rank at which you unlock things. The rank at which you unlock things is right there. So, okay, so money counter, compact, shiny, smarter, looks smarter, blah, 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 no more math, just pure golden efficiency. Okay, so you can buy up to 5 of those, which is interesting. You can also favorite them, I guess, if you wanted to buy a bunch of them, but that's perfectly fine. Good indication here of, hey, you should be clicking this button. You should be clicking this button, and you should check out. Kind of an arbitrary timer there. Not exactly sure what the timer would be for, outside of just arbitrarily making you wait. Let's take a sip of soda while we wait. So from a game design point of view, what does that give me? What does that 16-minute timer, 16-second timer really give me as a player? The answer to that is nothing. This could easily be just instant. Maybe they have something on the back end that makes it slightly necessary. Maybe they have it tied to the shop timer. Maybe they have it tied to the shop timer and they don't want it to deliver things too quickly because you might, run into some logic issues there. Who knows? The amount of bugs I have fixed in my game development days that I've kind of fixed by introducing arbitrary limits, such as like spawning things, 0.1 second, 0.05 seconds apart or whatever, has solved a lot of problems. So maybe they just have it tied into a system that doesn't really maybe the ideas to me without developing the game aren't exactly clear as to why they're doing that. But if it's purely just a game design decision to, hey, make them wait whenever they buy stuff, that's kind of silly. There's F1 to open up some kind of dictionary, which is quite cool. So they have stuff in here that I haven't been able to do yet. I've done it before because I've played the game, but it is kind of cool that they just had that there. Now, can I hit F1 at any time? Perfect. To just kind of learn here. So very, very, very cool. Let's open up our thing here. This is our task tracker. Right now we have no tasks to be doing. So let's go into our darknet because that's where we have historically gotten things. We have that. We also have Messenger. I know all of this is just story. So I don't really want to read through this just on my little playthrough here because this is more of a game design thing, not a let's play thing. But basically this guy is like, hey, you're pretty good. Let's launder some currency together. So, you know, something cool. But all right, let's go to our darknet here. Good muscle memory on this game too. You want things to like kind of feel intuitive. It's also very clear to me, even like, so it's hard because I've beat the game, so I know. But just even without beating the game, I kind of can understand already what's going on here. I can tell this objective is significantly more important than this objective. I can also tell that this one does not have what I can only assume. I do know, but let's assume I don't, that this is a timer because it is counting down. So I could tell that this one is different and limited versus this one is permanent because there is no timer. I don't necessarily need to progress the story. So let's see what, because I didn't actually think I would even get any optional missions so early in the game. Let's see what one of the optional missions is. So it expires in 4 hours. It's easy. Any backpack, any dollar amount. They'll send me $285 worth of cryptocurrency. I have to be level 3 to do it. I am not level 3. Oof. Okay, so they already gave me kind of like an artificial limit there. But they offered it to me, which is interesting, so early. So they must just have that code running sooner than necessary and just gate it behind level 3. Nothing wrong with that. It just introduces you to the concept of optional missions a little bit sooner. Combine multiple money packs, wrap them in cling wrap, create a money block, 55,000, wet, dry, straps. Okay, cool. So they're just kind of adding on more and more criteria here of, hey, you can get wet money. That's a new concept that was just introduced to us. I'm a big fan of explaining gaming concepts just by doing. Just kind of arbitrarily making the player exposed to said things. So they want $45,000. Perfect. I don't think... Oh yeah, no. From what I remember about this one, it doesn't do anything. Let's check if our money counter explains this. Yeah, so no further explanation of the money counter other than, hey, I can do any denomination. One of the best things about this game, and one of the reasons that I chose to show it off, is to show just how important, like I was saying earlier, just how important it is for you to make your gameplay loop fun. Your most basic things fun. And in this game, one of your most basic functions is this right here. Grab stack of money, feels good. I can tell it's wet because I can kind of see water coming off of it a little bit, and I can just, it sounds mushy compared to everything else. And then you take said money, you drop it in, that feels good, it just all snaps. And then my favorite thing ever is just about this game is the sound of the money counter. Now also, I'm a big fan of like in-game functionality, so the fact that this is a button that I press that changes the denomination of which this money sorter will look for is awesome. But like the best part about this is A, the sound it makes, and B, the fact that any dollar bill that doesn't match that amount just gets spit out onto the floor. Oh god, I love this. There's just something about it that just really makes my little brain extremely happy. Just extremely happy. And so from transitioning back from Tiny Brain Feel Good that transition right there from that gigantic pile of money, I'm actually going to pick up gigantic pile of money again, drop it over here. Now watch this. Once enough bills accumulate, you will watch the texture kind of change from individual bills to pile of money. There you go. So that is kind of like an object pooling thing to cut down on the amount of active physics objects. So that's one way they are able to have so many individual bills, is that. So actually there was not a single $100 bill in there, which is super unfortunate. I was hoping there would be. Oh, I missed. Grab all that and then drop it in and then press it again. So that is a way that they are avoiding having so many individual physics objects, is by pooling them like that. So as individual objects like this, that's kind of expensive. You have to keep track of collisions, you have to keep track of all the balancing they're doing, everything like that. So if you pool them like this, that just becomes an array of bills. So you could just take this pile, you could just turn it into an array or whatever you want, whatever data structure you want to put it in as, and just basically say this is an array of X number of size. So I don't know, for this case, let's call it like 352. And then each one of those array entries, so your array, bracket 0 or whatever is, a $50 bill, a $100 bill, a $10 bill, or whatever. So you could just basically have an array that is just like 0, 10, like index 0 is 10, index 1 is 50, index 2 is 100, and whatever. And then whenever you have your player go in, you could just have them get kind of arbitrarily if you want, unless it was important to your functionality to keep the order of the way you put the bills into the pile to come out of the pile. You could do that. I really don't see a reason to do that. Funnily enough, all this money is pre-sorted just by looking at it, I can tell, but following the same kind of premise. Now, it does seem like with a pile, there is no real order. But it does seem like whenever you put it in a box, there is somewhat of an order. So maybe they do kind of a more ordered approach to it than what I'm describing. I do think the array data structure would still work quite well for this, but it does seem like they might do a little bit more sorting than I was thinking. Maybe they don't for just the piles, but they must for the money whenever it's in a box. Okay, so these are hundreds. So we will drop that in there, count me out my hundreds, and then we will move this over here again, and then so now we got a nice 100 stack of dollar bills. So that's 10,000, that's another 10,000. That's another 10,000. Drop him there. And we will gather up all this money. We will drop it. Oh, we will drop most of it in. That is my only complaint about this game, and something I was wondering if they fixed in later versions of the game is what was that? Did they fix the issue of like money not like being properly able to always land in the money counter? And I guess the answer to that is no, just mostly. Alright, so since we don't have 100 of those, we will just do 50s, because we have a lot of 50s. So that's another 10,000, so that's, whoops, let's just do a little bit of organization. 10, 20, 30, 40, so I need 45,000, so that's it. We are done with that. So then it needs to be wrapped in plastic things inside of a suitcase, which did not come with anything in it, which is awesome. So let's just go ahead and grab up all these stacks, and then we will wrap it in a block. We will drop block inside. Whoops. No, we won't. We will drop block inside of, come on now, drop it inside of the thing, and then we will pick up said thing. We will drop said thing on here. We will press that, see if it turns green. Turns green means it is acceptable, and then it will go in. Which I wish that was a little bit faster. I can understand why they don't have it faster, but you know, whatever. And then there's a really, really nice... Oh, that feels good. Every one of those little pips of like, these are criteria you didn't know you had to hit, but you did. Here's a reward, here's a reward, here's a reward. That feels good. Doling out things with nice, flashy visual effects like that, always a good idea if you could do it. If you can't, a lot of times players understand that, but it does feel good when it occurs. So that is something you have to kind of keep in mind. I think all these are empty, so I am just going to keep using this palette as a box storage for good, clean boxes, which I think they came in not clean, so I'm kind of weirded out why they are now clean. Huh. Okay, so there definitely seems to be some kind of limit here that's like arbitrary, but good to know. Alright, I think I will do one more little delivery, and then maybe I'll do like a little let's play of this game, because I just have a heck of a lot of fun with this game. It is just one of my favorite little number go up, brain feel good simulator games. And we'll just, you know, see how that goes. Maybe I'll do a live stream, maybe I'll just do some uncuts. I don't know, but I always enjoy it. It's always a good time to just play some games. Okay, so there is a disposable one right here. For 20,000, rank 2. I am rank 2. Oh wait, difficulty 2. Oh wait, no, that is what I need. 2 hours, $20, any box, any bills, whatever. So let's see what they drop me. So they drop me some backpacks. Alright. And then inside of said backpacks is, I think, some just random crap as well. Yeah, so there is a vase in here, which I don't really care about. There are coins, which I just saw that there was a... that's your marked money stuff. Those are your coin compendiums. I just saw... I want to hold on to that because I know that's a unique dollar bill, and I want that for later. Very unrelated to the gameplay. I think I am going to continue playing this because I do very much like it, so kind of hold on to that. I'm going to hold on to that because I know I can use those later as well. What the heck was I talking about? Coins, right, coins. Whenever I played, they really had no purpose outside of, I think, like a singular mission, basically, had you do something with coins. And now there is an update that kind of fleshes out coins, which is really, really cool to see. And that is one of those things that you should do as a game developer, is kind of iterate and see what annoys players, what doesn't annoy players. I definitely think with the coins, and this game in particular, they rolled it out very much as like an early access type of build, where they knew for a fact that they were going to have to iterate on it. And they knew that. So they kind of just kept doing that. And that's really, really good. That's really, really admirable from like a game development perspective, because it is smart. It's just a smart thing to do. Because you know for kind of a fact, if people buy your game whenever it is in its worst state and like it, you were probably going to get good results as you improve upon the game, like as you make things better. This is actually a bad game to try to talk while doing things. Like, this is actually kind of rough. All right. So I need $20,000. Let's see, are there any hundreds? There are some hundreds. But this is the part of the game that I love. Before getting the money like organized, kind of, you know, ruined it. Kind of ruined my whole shtick. But having to actually sort the money like this, and it kind of flies out and does its whole thing, I love it. It is, like, objectively one of my favorite things. Okay, 10,000. Give me that. Let's wrap up 10K here. Drop it there. No more hundreds in this pile. That's fine. Drop more in there. Start it. Is this my leftover stack of hundreds? It is. One of the things you do in this game too is like develop an organizational structure. For right now, this is my organizational structure because I don't really have a way to make it better. So I know I have 3,900 there. I don't have any more stacks of money that aren't organized. But I do know that that plus however many of these I can get a hold of, if this totals 100, it's 10 grand. It did not, so I do not have enough for another stack. But I can chuck it in there, switch it over to 50s, and quickly grab it before I get too confused about what pile of money things are going into. Let's drop that back in there. And then, interesting that just jiggled around. It must have finally settled itself down. So if I can get 2 stacks of 50s, that gives me enough money. It's in any box, so it's going to require a box, not a backpack. 5,000. They're going to make me do it, aren't they? So, so that's 15k. And these are sorted 50s now, so I'm going to drop my sorted 50s there just so I know where they are. So that means all these are either 20s or 10s. I feel like the cash pile grab is kind of arbitrary, but that is kind of fine. So we'll drop it in there, start counting the 20s, and see if we can get enough, because right now we have 15k. So really what we want is 2 bundles of 20s would be ideal, and then... no. No, I don't wanna do it. Okay, so we'll grab these. We know these are sorted. Oh, no! Okay, well that's why I usually do it in little boxes, but... We learned today. Okay, so we know that's just a mixed pile now. We know these are all 10s. I think this is a whole pile of 10s. Alright, my 10s pile is getting kind of unwieldy, so let's just take a pile of 10s, and we will just have to sort them out, I guess. So, what do we have? 10, 5, 17, so we want 3 of these. 1 stack. 2 stacks, 3 stacks. There we go. So it doesn't say to do anything with it other than just drop it in a box. Let's just drop it in a box, walk it over here, drop it on, turn screen. Heck yeah, hopefully that is the correct amount of math. And then we are good to go, I think, hopefully. Let's find out. Oh yeah, and then I love this part. Exact money, single delivery, nothing else, no mark, no fake. Perfect packs, heck yeah. Love it. Love it. Yeah, overall, one of my favorite kind of chill games where you just kind of chill, you just kind of do your thing. There's not a whole heck of a lot of time pressure in the game. Actually, I don't think there's any time pressure in the game, pretty much ever, other than to accept contracts. You don't have to finish them within the time, I don't believe. At least I don't think so. But I love it. I love this game. So I might do a let's play of it. I might do something like that. I might just, kind of do a more in-depth analysis after this and chop up bits that I feel are worthy of pointing out. But as it stands, as an overall general overview of the game design of this game, very good. Very good. It all feels good. Good graphics, good settings, good feedback, good core gameplay loop. Your core gameplay loop feels really good, which is exactly what you want to see. And really, Cash Cleaner Simulator, I love it. I think it's one of the better games out there right now to kind of just turn your brain off somewhat and just organize. Just sift through cash and just kind of count money. It's kind of a fantasy a lot of us had, and I think they tapped into it pretty good. So this has been Case 41, and I will catch you guys later.